everyone. I'm Jerry McKee.
And I'm Scarlette.
And welcome to It's Your Community, It's Your Life page, and also it's prime time, 7 o'clock. We got all kind of interesting things going on. We got Sheriff Bailey as a guest here, the Union County Sheriff's Department, and also the City Union of Robbie McGee, Chief Robbie McGee, Director of, I'm trying to think of Union City, not City Police, but I want to say Union Safety.
Public Safety.
There we go. That's what I was trying to get in my mind. Of course, Charlotte messed me up there, so we'll blame it on her anyway. And,
I'll take the blame.
So we're glad that you're here, and Scarlett's going to go over some movies here, and I want you to call in and quiz her on these movies a little later on, and see how much she knows of it.
Because I done watched all of them. No, I haven't.
Yeah, she haven't watched. She haven't watched the trailers.
So you don't have the events. You don't want to go for events first.
Go with events.
No, we're going to question Jerry on these movies. So the Netflix top 10 movies this week.
Now she switched that.
We're going to go from. Is the music still playing?
What?
Is the music still playing on the thing?
No, but you're talking. They can hear you.
Okay, all right. Number 10, Arctic. Jerry, what is Arctic?
Arctic is this guy way up in the Arctic, and he's struggling to stay alive because it's so cold and everything up there.
Does he eat people?
There's no people to eat.
I don't know. I know.
If it is, it's frozen.
I've seen movies
Yes.
like that where they get
And you know what?
cold.
Actually,
and they just eat people.
Scarlett, his dad was up there with him, and what happened was his dad did die, so now he has a frozen pop.
It wasn't tasty. That's horrible. That's funny. Okay, number 9, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Right, that's a war movie back. I think it's World War I, and that they are World War II, and they're just surviving. It's just a war story.
Okay, I like war stories.
All right. Tell me about Glass
Number
Onion.
8, Glass Onion. I have seen it, and it's like an all-star cast, and it's a murder mystery type thing where he sends invitations to his closest friends to come solve his own death, and there's like a big twist.
Yeah, it is. Because one of the guys asked him, says, "Can we talk to you?" And he says, "Yes, you can talk to me. I'm not dead. It's just a murder mystery."
It's just a game.
Right, it's a game, and he's put these clues everywhere.
Did you finally watch it?
No.
If you need to, it has like an amazing twist. I watched
But
it.
I knew more than you did.
I had my Doritos,
Look
my
at the
Reese Cups, and my Mountain Dew, and I settled in for it.
Wait a minute, I thought you didn't have no time.
Well, this was months ago.
Okay, months ago.
That's when it first came out.
Now this is the top 10. This is your number one right now. Right now,
I'm going backwards
exactly
because it's the South. That's how we do it.
Exactly. So that's number 8 right now on the countdown. That's what it is here. Now, Navark is another war movie that you can watch. And we have Trolls, which is a cartoon.
It's a cartoon. Mm-hmm. And I think I have seen that because my grandsons watched that.
But is it?
It's a cartoon.
Okay,
and
let me ask you this. So it's a cartoon. It's kind of a CNI, or it's more than a cartoon. It's kind of a more animated type deal.
What's CNI mean?
But it's a different type of cartoon. But the troll here is huge and it's deadly.
Yeah. So. Trolls are not nice.
Right.
Are trolls for real?
And now Sling 2, yes.
They are?
Yeah, just like the gnome is. Sling 2.
Sling 2, that's one of your favorites because you like musicals, right?
Right. It's kind of animated. It's animated also, but also it's like American Idol and stuff like that, except it's animals that's portraying to sing and stuff like that. It's pretty good.
Flushed Away.
It's another cartoon.
It is, and it's about a mouse that goes flushed down the toilet, down into the drains and stuff, and then he's got to find his way back because he don't like the drain mice because he was an uppity mouse in a house, and yeah,
uppity mouse. Oh,
he was bougie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and what's the next one?
A Love Story, Pamela.
Pamela who?
Pamela Anderson.
Anderson, yes.
Anderson, the real pretty blonde one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw
What's she play in?
previews for that. She played in Baywatch.
There you go. Wow, see, you're good on that now. All right, and what's your next one right there?
Minions, The Rise of the Gru.
Right. Kids, that's good. And
that's the little yell about some people.
You people. I love that movie.
What about us people, Jerry?
Okay.
What about us people? You people.
You people. It's got everything against this couple that met. He's in a finance wizard, and he's miserable. He doesn't have a relationship. He's leaving his office. He jumps in his car, and this lady starts hitting him and saying, "Get out of my car, get out of my car." He thought she was an Uber driver.
Oh, I watched that.
And
I did watch that. That's a love story.
yes,
It's about two different ethnic backgrounds.
well, not only ethnic backgrounds, other backgrounds too. But anyway,
Eddie Murphy's
he
in
pulls
it.
out a picture. He says, "I thought you look like this," and it's a beautiful lady. I mean, gorgeous lady that's supposed to be the Uber driver. And he says, "You look just like her." And she looks at it and says, "Oh yeah, I do." And so they kind of hitched a little bit, or got together. They wanted to get married. Problem is, he's Jewish. Other problem is, her parents is Muslim. Eddie Murphy is Muslim. He talked about his hat and stuff like that he's got, and he don't even like the guy already. And so there's a conflict there and stuff, but it ended up being real nice and going good.
It is. It was a good movie. I watched
Okay,
it.
now this is in order. Number one movie now is in Netflix
It's
or the movie theater.
No, in the movie theaters. It is the Fablemans.
Right.
It was released November 25th and 22. The director Steven
Well,
Spielberg.
that's when it was released, but it's coming out in movies
It's
now.
coming out in the movies now.
Right. And
So the Fablemans.
right, The Fablemans is number one right now, and it's kind of a weird concept. I don't know if I want to go see it or not. I mean, but it is number one. People going to see it. It's a mystery kind of. Steven Spielberg.
He makes good movies.
He wrote it, and he gets some weird sometimes on his movies.
Yeah.
But The Fablemans, it's
So is it
it's
kind
okay.
of thrilling? Is that
yeah,
what it is?
yeah, it's a little on the scary side, supposedly, because Steven Spielberg, he's gonna write something that's gonna be scary.
But it's PG-13, so your
PG-13
teenagers
is not
can
too
go see
bad,
it.
and The Broker,
That's rated R.
what is it?
Rated R.
Yeah, I know.
I'm guessing it's about a banker, a broker, like stockbroking type stuff.
Well,
Or what?
yes,
Well, I just had a new grandbaby, and my daughter had surgery, and Jerry does not see me. He doesn't brief me like.
Well, anyway, that's the number 2 movie going on right now, and you've got Babylon. This is number 3 going on right now, and if you hadn't seen that, it's kind of a apocalypse type deal, and it's weird. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I watched it. Saint Omer is another good movie. It's number 4 at your movies. It's with Alice Dupé, who's kind of directed it, and Knock at the Cabin Door. Now that's a real one right there.
Is that one scary?
It is.
watch
They're out into the and rent this cabin, and out in the cabin, and they hear this knock. Well, the little girl's out in the field, and here comes this big man like that. He says, "Your family's not going to like me." So they come in and beat the door down and stuff, and tie him up, and he says, "Y'all are the ones that's coming for this apocalypse and stuff." That's another one of them type of movies. And so it's okay. Avatar dropped down from number 1 always number 6 this week. And Skinnamarink, that's another kind of a crazy one like that. Director Kyle Bell done. And Megan will drop down to number 8.
Mm-hmm. A lot of our teenagers are watching Megan. I've heard a lot of them
It
talk
is,
about
it is. Could you do the Megan dance?
The Wednesday dance. The Megan dance.
And number 9 is Infinity Pool, and of course Black Panther dropped down to number 10.
So those are our Netflix top 10 and our movie top 10.
And Scarlett next week is going to really give you a detail on each movie there.
Yeah, I'm going to go like maybe this weekend and just marathon the movies all day. I'm going to need that visa that you promised.
All right. Well, we got through that right there. That's pretty quickly. Right.
Sorry.
And let me just bump these up just a little bit
And
more.
see, just last week he said I was the co-host with the most. And now
Yes.
I'm slacking on the job.
Yeah, I'm going to have to change that. It seems like.
Jerry's so smart and so talented, and I just love working with him.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's meet our guests right here. And let me flick the camera over on you, both of y'all. We have Chief McGee of the Union City Police and Sheriff Bailey of Union County. And how you folks doing?
Doing well. How you doing tonight?
Doing fine.
That's good. Great. And I appreciate y'all coming on, and we're going to talk about a couple things here. And one of the things that we're excited about was the meeting that we had that you arranged with the Explorers.
Mm-hmm.
And have you got a lot of response from that meeting? I know there's some applications were out there. There was someone was going to be putting in.
Yeah, we had a real good response and a good crowd that night, and I think it's going to be a real good program for the sheriff's office, and just to keep them interested in law enforcement and kind of it's a recruiting tool. You know, if we get them interested at a young age and they hang in there, when they turn 21, they can they'll be prepared by, you know, they got a curriculum they have to study and pass, and then I think it'll be something great for the future for the city and the county. We'll have somebody to pull from.
Now the is Explorers kind of connected a little bit with the Boy Scouts?
They are, yeah, they are. They're part of the Boy Scouts.
Okay, because I know I was had life in Boy Scout, and we were going up to Eagle, and then we seen the Explorers back then. I just really didn't I had my vision of the Explorer as going hiking up through the mountains and doing all that stuff there.
Yeah.
But this is a little bit different.
Right. Yeah. They'll like I said, they'll have a curriculum that they'll have to study, and it's over time, and they'll get to actually be hands on. You know, if we work in football games, there'll be another set of eyes there for us. You know, they'll have uniforms they'll wear, which will be, you know, you'll be able to see Explorer on their back. There'll be a difference between law enforcement and Explorer. So that'll be a good experience for them. They'll be happy to, you know, Christmas parades and just be out there and see what we're doing. We have a ride along program, and it'll kind of get their feet wet.
Right. And the ages is from 14 to 21, my understanding?
14 to 20.
14 to 20, okay. And it's, you know, don't think that families can come in and say, well, my kid can get in there, but they got to meet certain criteria. They just can't just say that they're not going to do the work, they're not going to do anything like that.
Right.
And what are some of the criteria that you look for?
Well, the main thing is they have to have a 2.0 GPA, and that's good because we're really pushing education, and you just got to be an all-around good person. There's a process. It's a lengthy process you go through, you know, background checks and driving record and stuff like that we'll look at if they're able to drive at that age. But there's a lot that we have to go through. It's just not, you can't just sign up and be an explorer. We have a process you go through, and that'll bring some good candidates to the table.
Do you already have some explorers?
We don't have any right now. We're just in the process of starting this group up, and so it's going to start up here pretty soon.
Right.
Wow.
And setting this up, you know, it's a little bit more detailed. People don't realize that you just can't go in there and say, well, we're going to start an Explorer like that. You've got to go in and do a lot of homework in that. And you're going to make sure that the kids is going to enjoy and have fun at it. Mm-hmm. Besides teaching them about community values, and they get to see firsthand. And I think as they go along, they get to do a ride along later on or something like that.
Right, they'll sign the permission slips and they'll be able to ride along. And of course, we're not going to put them in any bad situations, right, of course, but they'll get to see the kind of the day-to-day operations of what the sheriff's office or the city police do.
Right, and you know it's you know, you open that meeting up, and it was a lot of parents there was really interested and had a lot of questions there about exploring. And I think it's a great thing. I think Scouts is a great thing. I think it builds character. And with your department coming in and saying, okay, you're letting them see actually both sides. Mm-hmm. And if you have any questions, you can call this number 864-441-9382, and you'll be live on the air. And if you have any questions about exploring or some other topics we get into. But with the parents backing their kids on it, and that's what I was really surprised how crowded your office was, and a lot of good questions that was asked. Mm-hmm. And with your department doing it, I don't want to say, they're going to see both sides of community. Mm-hmm. That's not always great community, mm-hmm, but you also will see there's not so great. And it gives them, to me, that is a good teaching tool, because we all think everything is roses, then we'll go in and be shocked. And but I think what you're doing with these kids, and you have someone that's kind of going to be designated in your office to kind of handle this.
Deputy Foster, he's leading this program, And like I said, it's good because I think it's good for the kids because when they're out there in the public and they can see what we do, and they can see how the other people act and how to treat people, and then that's going to give them a better idea of what we're trying to do, work in the community. Like we work with the city police and Chief McGee, and we try to make it a very community oriented situation is what we like.
Right.
And that they get to see, they'll learn what not to do by looking at some of the things that go on. Well, we know not to do that. So that's
So is this a program that other counties have or something that y'all just created? Or
No, it's something, like I said, it's through the Boy Scouts, but actually out of, I think the district is like Spartanburg, Union, Cherokee, York County, Lancaster County, and Chester County, but Union County is the only one that has the Explorer program. Some of those other bigger counties have it, but we're hoping it'll lead to a program that's good for the kids, and the other counties will see it, and then they'll just piggyback on that and grow, and it'll be.
When does the program start?
I think the last date for the applications is going to be the 13th, I believe.
I think it was somewhere like the middle of this.
Yeah,
this
in
month.
the middle of the month. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And how do these kids get the applications?
And just come by the office. A lot of the kids and parents got them that night.
Oh, okay.
And but if they want one, they can come by and grab one at the office and fill it out. It's a pretty lengthy application to fill out. So
Don't they have to write something to kind of why they want to be in this program?
Right. It's not an essay, but it's they have to write a paragraph stating the
Right.
reasons.
So it's just checking yes, no, stuff like that. And I think that's good.
Do they have to be in the Boy Scouts to be a part of the Explorer?
No, you don't have to be in the Boy Scouts.
Good question, Scarlette. Or Girls,
host.
or Girl Scouts, because you are going to have
I
girls.
do eat their cookies.
Yeah, we actually had some young ladies that were there that night that's really interested in the program, and I think they'll do very well.
Yeah, because I noticed that several of them asked some questions. Because it's going to interfere with me taking cheerleading. It's going to interfere with this right here, right? Because they got to meet so many times that they have to meet that criteria. They can't.
You can only miss so many meetings, so you're encouraged to attend. If not, then you can't be a part of the program. So, like I said, it's just pretty strict.
It's teaching self-discipline, and that's great.
No, well, they'll be able to. Will you be teaching them like firearm safety or anything like that?
They will actually be taught some of the things that are taught in the academy. Fourth Amendment. Any kind of the laws and stuff like that. I don't remember the whole criteria, the curriculum that we have, but it's like I said, it's pretty in depth. They'll go through the same thing that officers go through at the academy.
Yeah, I know when I was in Boy Scouts there, they would take us on a range where they had rifles and shoot targets and stuff like that was part, and they teach you the safety of it.
Right.
And I thought that was so neat because when I went to service like that, I kind of knew a little bit. I thought, well, basic training. So, man, this is like Boy Scouts, because I had a scoutmaster, not the assistant scoutmaster. He was a drill sergeant. Woo. he was a drill master too. So, but he was a good man. But that is a great program, and I don't see that any parents that wouldn't want their child to be a part of this. And because I've seen some guys sitting there that are very enthusiastic about doing this.
What about the kids with special needs that might want to do this? Is that?
Yeah, that's possible. Like I say, we'll look at the situation and see what it is and how we can help.
Right, and that could be part of a program extended from the guys that you're teaching, that they can help in the community helping.
And they'll participate in stuff like the Miracle League. Anything that we do, they can be a part of and help.
So when, the high school usually has their career days, or so will someone go out there and like have a booth?
Yeah, we'll actually have a booth at the career day.
So it's advertised a lot more.
Yep.
So they can pick up the application at the sheriff's department and just swing by there and pick it up. And
didn't y'all move the sheriff's department?
Yep, we're at 200 East Main.
Right on Main
Right
Street.
on Main Street.
Nice building now. Yeah.
Middle of Main Street. It's a nice office. We really stepped it up a little bit, and it was well needed. We needed it. So.
Well, the front of it looks gorgeous. I know it has some volunteers there to to dress it up a little bit, didn't you?
Yep, Woodman of the World came in and they helped us get our flagpole and our flags and help with some of the landscaping around there.
Yeah. And to me, that is a great thing is when the community participates in with law enforcement, and it really makes a better community. Because we see so much negative in our community. And that's one thing I wanted to create this podcast to go out and show that, Union County is special. You got people that helps one another. I see it when they had a fire where they burnt their house, lost everything. They had an auction and cakes, people donated, and
I think we got a call in.
Call from
hello. I think it got hung up.
So we do have the phone
Try it
number,
again.
the call-in number below, 864-441-9382. If Jerry hangs up on you, just call us back. He's learning.
I didn't.
Been teaching him. He likes to mash the red buttons.
Yeah. Here it comes.
call from Daniel Medford.
Daniel Medford. I wonder who that is.
I know Daniel Medford.
Hello. Can you hear us? Hello.
Call from Ian.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Call from. Okay.
All right. Can y'all hear?
us?
Yes, I'm here.
He has had his night medicine, so he's not doing too good on the phone.
That's okay.
He has had his,
What?
so he's not doing too good on the phone.
Okay.
But
So-
he is very interested in the program. I know he has a few years to wait.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to him being in part of that program. Daniel and myself, we go back a good ways, and he's a fine young man, and I'm very proud of him. He loves his police department and sheriff's office, and fire departments too.
Yes.
How old is he?
Yes.
How old is he right now?
How old is Daniel right now?
Okay.
8 years old.
Oh,
So he don't have that far to go. He'll make a good one, I believe.
I'm sure he will.
And well, I hope
But
it,
it's almost bedtime for him. He's in a bed between 7:30 and 8:30 every night.
Well, you tell Daniel I said hello and I love him.
So hello. I will, and you know he loves you too.
Yes, ma'am.
All the police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
well, Daniel, you have a good night. And
that was
man, we need to go to man. I need my bedtime too. well, thank you for calling, Peggy.
Y'all just stay safe out there.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, bye-bye.
So, Mr. McGee, are you going to have a part in this program as well?
Oh, yeah, I'm planning on it.
Nothing's been worked out at this point, no. But yeah, the sheriff knows anything that he needs from me, anything I can help him with. All he's got to do is pick up the phone and ask. So pretty much it's headed up by the sheriff's office. But
Yeah, we work together in everything we do, and the city actually had an Explorer program a few years ago, didn't it?
well, it's before
been
my
a while
time.
back. Yeah,
It's
before your time,
Way
but-
before my time.
But yeah, it's a good program though, and they're welcome to pitch into just like our CAT team. Anything we do, our narcotics task force, we work together. So it's a team in Union now. We don't worry too much about the boundaries.
Right, and that really keeps your officers safe.
Oh yeah,
Working together and tag teaming, and back up, and because yourself that people just not working now. They're not coming and wanting to apply for positions, and when you have hiring fire, I just like the prisons. I've seen they got first time I've seen in years them putting signs out, we're hiring, we're going to give you this bonus to come on, and these things here, and the same thing with law enforcement, same thing with a lot of companies, and when you're shorthanded, you need someone to watch your back, especially in y'all's field.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to switch gears just a little bit right here, and we'll talk a little bit about the drugs that that with y'all's working together. That I was looking at this and very impressed throughout 2022. Union County Joint Narcotics Task Force has continued to combat drugs in Union County and working together to building a better relationship. And I think that is great. And you know yourself that it takes the community to help you get drugs off the street.
Yes.
And
right.
A lot of people don't know what drugs look like. People that don't use them.
Well, people who weren't raised around that kind of stuff doesn't have a clue.
Right, and
They don't have a clue. They weren't. It was never addressed to them. They would. It's you don't know what to look for. I was trained. I was an educator, and I was trained on how to work with hundreds of diverse adult learners, and they went through a drug thing with us. And you think you can recognize it, and then it's in your face one day, and you don't recognize it because you've not experienced it and you don't see it.
well, I know y'all are trained and know what it looks like. Someone can sit here in front of me and said, "Oh, it's my aspirin," and whatever like that, and okay, you got a headache or whatever, and we don't know it, and I think it's part of a ignorance on my part because it's all online that you can look and see what it is, and I look at everything else, and some things I can tell and see, but your guys are constantly training to pick up on different signs and different behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us some about the experience. I know, especially the fentanyl. You seized 2,048 blue pills and the street value of $30,720. And I know you can't get into detail of
I
it.
mean, what exactly is fentanyl? I mean,
Fentanyl is actually a opioid drug, and there is a medical use for it. It's used in the medical field, but obviously, just like any other drug of that nature, it gets out in the streets. And a lot of what we end up running across just comes from intel. We get from SLED, from federal agencies. They see things and they pass it down, and that's where we get a lot of our information from. But most of what we dealt with has been a powder type substance that is generally formed in a pill, and what mostly we found has been blue. That's why in South Carolina they've been referred to as the blue pills, because it's the problem with the pills is certainly not a union problem. It is a statewide problem.
Well, the blue pills used to mean something else for older folks.
Yes, sir.
This was different.
my.
Don't take this one.
Yeah. Now,
But now these pills, are they coming? I mean, I know you get the information from other force task or whatever, but are people making stuff like in their buildings? I mean, are they making things on their own and that's why it's so deadly? Or like there's been a lot of overdoses in our babies.
And
dying.
it's kind of like, I mean, they're street pharmacists, and
Okay,
they're buying the fentanyl, they're buying the binder, and then they're pressing the pills out. And so that not necessarily, I'm not saying they do it in Union, but I mean close by. And they can press more pills than we can get off the street in a day, I can promise you. So that's what makes it so big. But you're a little bit of fentanyl will really damage you. It can kill you. And so you've got people just mixing this, and they might mix it with heroin or anything. They might do anything to mix with it just to give it a filler. But you don't know how much actual fentanyl you're getting, and that's what causes the overdoses. And if it's the first time you've used it, it's really more dangerous than if you've been using it over time.
now, tell me. I know that I know you wear gloves and stuff on a lot of different things like that. But if this, like fentanyl, if it like touches your skin or gets in, is it that quick to absorb into your skin, or is it something mixed with it, or because I heard so many different stories, so well, you pick it up in fingers like that, but I know they got powder form of it, and then if that gets on your skin, does that affect you or the officer? Yes,
it can.
Yeah, it can.
The absorption can affect you.
Yeah, and it's just actually my lieutenant that's over the evidence. He actually went into the vault one day and to show me some shelves that we had, put in there to hold evidence. And I walked out and he walked out, and then all of a sudden he just got dizzy and almost dropped. And it was just because he touched a bag that had the residue or something on it. And we actually had to give him Narcan in the office that day. But it happens on a lot of law enforcement when they go in, we do search warrants, and they're looking through stuff that they'll run across it and not actually know it and get the residue on them, and then later on they actually can overdose.
That's so scary.
Yeah, and I know it's
scary.
scary for y'all like that. We're going to take a second break here. It gives people time to call. You can call in at 864-441-9382, and we'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Mail.
It's a lover's holiday. It's Valentine's next Tuesday.
Is that the flavor of the month?
Place your Valentine orders soon. Kirby's Bake Shop, 1222 South Duncan Bypass, Union, can create the sweets for your sweet one.
Lucy, what is this?
Kirby's Bake Shop, open Valentine's Day, 10:30 until 5:30. Kirby's Bake Shop, we highly recommend you place your order early. Kirby's Bake Shop, 427-5779.
Hello!
The number again, 427-5779. Order those chocolate-covered strawberries, cookies, cupcakes, cake squares. Don't forget Miss Ann's famous baked spaghetti, taco salads. From delicious cakes, pimento cheese, chicken salad, melt in your mouth, no baked cookies. Lunchtime never ever tasted so good. Try the chicken salad and pimento cheese. So good you'll want to get two, but be careful. You may have to share with some of your coworkers. Like us on Facebook, Kirby's Cake Shop, 1222 South Duncan Bypass, Union, 427-5779. 427-5779.
All right, we're back for that short commercial. Be sure to go down to Kirby's and get you some of that delicious food like that and cakes and all that. Wayne and his wife there, they bend over backwards. They do a lot of catering, a lot of things for the county. They have some great people. Go down and have you some good lunch right there. Now, we was talking about, of course, the blue pill and about Narcan. Is that something that a public can have on them? Because I do a lot of traveling, and then a lot of times late at night, and I see a lot of homeless and stuff like that. And I've always wondered about what if I come across someone that's overdosing, and I didn't know if it's ready for the public to have, or is it just strictly?
Yes, it is. I know it's one time C4 Ministries was providing some. I don't know if they still are or not, but I think the Healthy U.
Healthy U, yeah.
Is it like an EpiPen or something, just a shot or something? What is Narcan?
I think it's a nasal.
It's a nasal inhaler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the street value here was $30,000. That's a lot of money, and also meth, which you probably see more so than anything.
It's widespread.
Mm-hmm.
And 5,312 doses of meth seized, a value of $46,480. The street value. Meth, is it in a pill form, or is it in a powder form, or liquid, or can it be any of those things?
It can be liquid, or typically it's like in a rock form that they'll put in a pipe and smoke. That's typically the way we see it.
Okay.
It's not always the way we see it, but that's typically the way we see it around here.
Now, when you go in and say into a meth lab, are you in hazmat?
Yes.
Stuff.
Fortunately, we've been lucky. We don't have any around here. Haven't had any around here for a while because you have to be certified in hazmat to go into a lab because of all the stuff that they use to make it.
Right, and it's very, very poisonous too, or dangerous when you're even cooking it. I've heard about explosions and
Yes.
Death by the smell or the fumes from it.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they cook this with? I mean, is it ammonia or something, or?
They use this stuff called liquid heat, battery acid, the acid out of lithium batteries. And I'm not sure what all is in it.
And I know sometimes they cut it with stuff that's deadly.
Well, and that's one of the problems with all the drugs. Just like the sheriff mentioned a while ago, you never know you may be buying something that you think is simple, maybe a blue pill or maybe even a little bit of marijuana, but you don't know what the person that had it before put in it or added to it, because we do see a lot of that.
Yeah, if they lace it with fentanyl, then I mean, you're hooked. I mean, once you get the fentanyl, you have to have it.
Right, and you know, and one drug I don't hear too much, especially around here, is heroin. Just don't hear much about it. I've known some people that's on it before that they had to get off of. They have to take another drug like methadone to get off of that, and it's just like separating one from the other. And people don't realize that these drugs is so highly addictive.
Yes,
It's not like picking up a cigarette and a couple puffs and you're hooked on cigarettes. It takes time with that, but it doesn't take that much time with here.
no, it doesn't.
We had a student, her name was Becky, and she, her boyfriend had got her addicted to meth, and she had missed, I'd say about 2.5 months of school, and she come back, and I'd already expelled her, and she's like, Miss Scarlette, I've only been gone a couple of days. I'm like, baby, you've been gone for 2 months. She had lost so much weight, and her face had sunk in, and there were some sores and stuff like that, and it's sad. It is so sad. I remember telling her, and I showed her in the mirror, I said, look at yourself. You should be too vain to put this stuff in your body, because it is a lot of chemicals. And, she said that, and a lot of these students, they're confiding in us, and they can make this in aquariums and bury them in the ground. They can make something called shake and bake in a 2-liter bottle. Mm-hmm. They can make
They might
stuff.
have to be looking at you.
I'm not going to do. I'm too pretty for drugs. I'm sorry. I'm just too pretty for it. But like, there's these things. When I was younger, I think the only thing we worried about was like pot and speed. Yeah. Is that the only thing I ever heard of that
No, a lot
that
of
people would do this meth stuff. I didn't even know it existed until I'd say 6 or 7 years ago. And it's scary because these people get out of their mind. It's a chemical burn in your body. The only thing that shuts a chemical burn down is milk. And I think that's why they crave dairy when they're on this.
So when you go,
and I'm very educated in this stuff. I was trained in this stuff.
When you go milk a cow,
I'm
you're
not
gonna get them
milking
dairy,
a
right?
cow. I had 2 people call me this week about wanting to come and get chicken eggs. We'll give you a whole dozen, Scarlette, if you'll come get them. I'm like, it's all right.
Now, one of the addiction people don't realize is like, and a lot of people, and unfortunately, we've got family members we know that had an operation, maybe a knee replacement or something like that, and they prescribed them this medication to help with the pain, and the next thing you know, they're addicted to them. They start getting more and more. And that is a path that sometimes people take that get them in the position that they're in. I know a lady now that it just really shocks me the way she looks, and she's now going through the court system for having these drugs, and they have to for her addiction. She tells me, she's I have to steal to get money to pay for it. I've got to sell to get money to do it. Mm-hmm. And see, people don't realize if you turn your head to drugs, you're inviting them into your house and you're breaking into your car or stuff like that. Because they can't work.
Yeah, the drugs. I mean, it definitely causes your property crimes to go up because, like you said, they have to steal to support their habit. And just by talking to people that have been on the fentanyl and opioids like that, they say the sickness that they experience, and I don't know, but what I'm told is the sickness is terrible. Right. It's just like they'd rather be dead than have that sickness, and I don't understand it because I've never been in that position, but it's definitely a problem that that we need to watch out for and try to get as many people. If we can get people into rehab, I'm just as happy, and I know the chief is. If we can get them in rehab, I'd rather have them in rehab than I had in jail.
And people got to realize that rehab is not a cure.
No.
Because they've got to work on all their life. I know some that's really struggles every day, just like an alcoholic. They got to struggle every day to keep from that drinking and stuff. And again, they got to want to do it.
Yeah,
they have to want to do it.
It's a mindset change.
Now this right here blows my mind. It does. 194 pounds of marijuana seized street value $351,460. People, and I hear this too, saying, "Well, they got it legalized in these states and legalized it here." Well, it's not legalized in South Carolina.
And it's not legalized by the federal government either. So,
Yeah.
Right.
So,
So if they get caught with it in a state that says they can have it, and if it's a FBI agent or a federal agent catches something like it, they could be, I guess, charged through the federal system.
if theoretically, yes.
Yeah, theoretically, probably not.
Right.
But now is this poundage? What is the biggest pound of marijuana that you've seized? I know it's 194 pounds. That's over the whole period of time.
I'm not sure.
Sheriff, I want to say like 20 pounds is the largest I remember.
Right.
Now
I
is
think
one-
it's
at
about
one
20
time.
pounds at one time.
now do you have a lot of because marijuana people can grow it in the backyard and do you have anyone? I mean, not name names and nothing like that, of course. Do you run across that any of the words someone would call manufacturing marijuana, and that's growing it to sell and growing it?
I mean, it's pretty rare. I mean, years ago it was pretty popular,
Right.
but now I think it's out there everywhere. You can get it from California and places like that. So I mean, why grow it when you can buy it? So
Right, and
Most of what we see is manufactured. It's imported, and it is not the same marijuana that people smoked 40 years ago.
They have different names for
It's-
it.
it's-
It's not just pot.
It-
It's
it's-
loud. It's something else. What else?
well, the
Much more potent.
right,
And who knows if they
laced
put the
with
other
different
stuff in
things. It's
it.
coming from other countries and stuff like that. And I read something. I was reading about marijuana and it was kind of funny saying they give the price for an ounce. The price for an ounce last year or before COVID, something like that, was like $240 some. Now it's down. You can get it for like $60, and it's talking about how the price dropped because the demand's not there, and all this right here because of these other drugs.
Maybe inflation needs to hit the drug world. And
But I mean, it's like people say, well, why do you worry about marijuana? Well, it's against the law. I mean, that's why. I mean, a lot of people might think it's no big deal, and that's fine if that's the way they feel. But till they change the law, we have to do what the law says. It's not a personal preference.
Well, it's
Still
like running a stop sign, versus a stop light. He said, well, it didn't change, but I just went ahead and run it, and
Yeah.
it's still.
it still alters your.
Yeah.
It's like being drunk or something, isn't it? Mm-hmm. See, I don't do drugs. I don't want to be out of my mind. I want to know what's going on around me.
I agree.
We need you to do that.
Yeah, I tried. No, I'll be honest. I tried pot one time. I hated it. It does not help with nausea.
Oh.
I don't know why cancer patients are on it.
You're going-
It makes you smell bad and it makes you sick. And there was no tripping on my part.
Kind of-
I didn't enjoy it.
So you didn't smell like a polecat then after you smoked it, right?
It was just, I'm going to tell you, it was way back when Jonesville and Union, everybody was mad about Go Big Blue, the Wildcat thing. And I had separated from my husband. The kids and I moved back to Jonesville. And some friends and I went to the mountains. And they had this little joint rolled up and they passed it around. And then the next thing I know, we're in the snow playing football, cheerleading, hollering, Go Big Blue. And we get kicked out of the cabin. I'm out of pocket having to pay for a hotel. No, this was not fun at all for me. It was
Bad
upset.
experience.
Well, good.
I mean, it is what it is.
I'm glad you learned
not
a good,
perfect, but
You learned a good
experience.
lesson.
Yeah. Now you got another here that 912 doses of crack cocaine seized, value $7,980. I don't. You hear a lot about crack and some cocaine, but it seems like it is not as much as the fentanyl and stuff. It's there, but it doesn't seem like it's it's almost like the flavor of the day now is this right here, and that's where we're taking more of this.
That's exactly right.
Because the crack is like it's a little bit more higher potent than cocaine.
Basically, what they do is they take the cocaine and they cook it down so it cooks all the impurities out. So crack is actually pure cocaine.
Okay,
And then they'll smoke that, whereas cocaine's in the powder form.
right. Where they can snort it or whatever like that and stuff.
Yes, sir.
Seen that right there.
I thought it was a crack rock. Like it was a rock.
That's what they
It is.
refer to it. When
Yeah.
they break it off, that's what
Oh,
it
okay.
looks like.
Yep.
rock. I didn't know.
582 doses of other various pills and narcotics seized. And people don't realize, too, if you got a prescription, you can't just give it to someone and let them take it and carry it and take the pills, because that prescription is signed to you, especially if it's a narcotics type deal, and they could be arrested for that.
Well, and unfortunately, we do see a lot of what you're referring to, people that get addicted to after surgery or what have you. Well, then they'll continue to get their pain medicine. Well, then that gets to where it's not enough, so they'll get their prescription filled. They'll sell it to go buy something stronger.
Right.
So we do see that on occasion.
And
And allergic reactions, I mean, it's like they don't think about whether they're allergic to something or not.
well, this is something I want to ask you. We talked about this one time before, and I was really blown away. How many overdoses has it been? We can even say this year or a total of last year in this county that y'all.
I'm trying to. Was it close to over 200?
I would guess.
I think it was over 200 overdoses.
Right, and this is a small county, as far as population goes. That's a lot of people that's overdosed.
Well, and you take into consideration several months ago, we had one incident where the city police and EMS were dispatched, and it goes sort of back to the Narcan. It's good and bad, but we went to the same residence 3 times in a 24-hour period for the same person overdosing. But they were able to OD, Narcan, go to the hospital, get checked out, come back, OD, Narcan. 3 times that law enforcement and EMS was tied up dealing with that. Now, we're saving a life, but
you might be a life being lost because you're having to deal with that.
You're tying up because we have a limited number of EMS, and so if we're out there working on somebody that's unconscious because of a overdose, then what about the guy that's having a heart attack in Jonesville or Lockhart or Carlisle? I mean, that you got to get to them, and so that's taking away our resources, and that really damages and it hurts good people.
Right, and this county, even though it's a small population, it's a big county.
Yeah,
and if you have to go travel all the way one end if someone's having a real medical emergency, not saying the overdose is not, but if, like you said, you're going the 3rd time like that, you're taking resources away, and taxpayers are paying for that resources because, that usually they don't have insurance and things like that, and someone's got to cover that charge, and that usually comes, with taxes and all. We just got to be honest about that.
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask also is that what can the public do to help get drugs off the street?
For one, don't be naive. Understand it's here. Understand it may be your family. It may be your kids. Don't be afraid to speak up and say something if you see something. If you suspect something. If you see something on the street. If you see something suspicious, call 911. Call Crime Stoppers. Any information you can give us. We hear a lot, and I'm not going to put words in the sheriff's mouth, but we hear a lot, well, that's y'all's job as the police, and yes, it is. But we can't be on every street corner 24/7, and we can't be on every street 24/7. So we need the help of the community. We need people reaching out. And basically, it's just like your show says, this is your community. What do you want it to be?
Right.
If you want it to be good, if you want it to be productive, if you want business coming in here, then help the sheriff and I clean it up. Help the sheriff and I. You may never get rid of everything, but it certainly doesn't need to be out in the open. It doesn't need to be wide open, just running the streets the way it has been.
Right.
And just reach out and speak up, and I'll let you talk now.
Yeah, now, and like I said, we really have limited resources. I mean, we only have so many officers on a shift, and if you look at the call volume that we have, besides the property crimes, the overdoses, the mental health transports, we'll get those calls and we try to get to them the best we can. But sometimes when we get there, it's over with. Somebody could be dealing drugs, right? Say it's on Main Street, but by the time he can respond, or his officers can respond, or we can respond because we're tied up doing the other things, then it's over with. It's not that we don't care, but we just don't have the manpower to be everywhere at one time. And that's the thing. So we need the community to be there. And just take notes of behaviors that go on in the streets or your neighborhood or your houses. Write down tag numbers and give it to us. You can call Crime Stoppers. Turn that stuff into us, and we'll follow up on it.
Right. And you got, everybody has phones. And everybody's got cameras on their phones. We see it on Instagram. We see it everywhere. I mean, it's just blown away with videos. take a picture. They don't have to see you take a picture of them. You just walk by and click, whatever like that. And send in, look, I'm concerned about this guy. He looks like he might be selling, or a woman might be selling, or this right here. They've got to take back their community, and it can't be just left up to y'all. You can't be everywhere.
That's right.
Now, I was looking here also. This led to 200 arrests being made and 494 drug charges filed. 8 people have been indicted in federal court, and federal investigation is still going on with them. Now, let's talk about the arrest and things. When you make an arrest, and we've talked about this before, is that people have a different concept of what you do in your arrest. They think that you're like a fisherman. This is lakes out here, stock full, you catch and release. They think that you catch them and say, okay, let me make a deal with you, and I'll let you go. And that's the concept that people has got that really makes you look bad. And they say, well, I'm not going to do that because all they're going to do is let them go. I hear that many times. I know you do.
Well, it's just, and people just, I want them to understand the way the system works. We respond to the calls, we make an arrest, and a lot of times before we get them in the jail good, they're being released. Well, everybody's entitled to a bond. And, that's correct. And we want to do things the right way. But, when you take them back in there 2 and 3 times for the same thing and they get another bond, that's just part of the process. But then there's so many parts to this wheel that's turning that causes, whatever we do, it causes an issue somewhere else. And then that issue causes another issue. So, we don't have jail space. Okay. The jail's overcrowded as it is. And so you can't just keep packing people in there because you have laws that we have to abide by as far as the population. So, we just need to people to understand that just because we put them in jail and then they see them the next day, we didn't have anything to do with releasing them. We just pick them back up again if we have to. And it's an ongoing process, and we need to figure out ways to handle that situation.
Right, and kind of like on the bottom of that process, you arrest them, you take them like that, and now it's left up to the magistrates, left up to the courts, and left up to this right here. And until the people really see this and say, we've had enough of this, we've got to either get more rehabilitation, more things that's going to help, because there are some good people that's just gotten way off from medication, and next thing you know, they're on this track. They don't want to be. I've talked to some homeless people in Greenville, and a couple of them said, "Yeah, I want to be this way." And I had a couple says, "I can't stop it. I can't help it." He says, and be honest with you, he says, "If I stop it, I start hurting so bad, and this right here, so I don't want to stop. So I got to keep it going." And then that's sad. We're not saying all these people are bad people, but it generates those ones that is out to, and I know y'all of course know that sometimes a lot of these dealers don't take the drugs. They're giving them out and selling them because they know how bad they are, and they just reaping off the person's misery.
Yeah, a lot of them are just simply running a business.
It's just evil. I think it's evil, and it's just bad. It's hard. It is so hard to, like, a lot of people have compassion for drug addicts. A lot of people, empathy. It's a mental health issue. It's a disease. And then there are people who are like me, and I'm sorry, it's intolerable. I don't want to be around it. I don't want to see it. I'm glad you're rehabilitated. I'm glad the Lord got a hold of your heart. That's good. But to me, you're a gamble and you're a risk, and you could fall back into it. And I try, I work with myself all the time about having compassion, but it is just so, it's become, a pandemic of its own.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's like COVID pandemic. This has been a pandemic that's been growing every year more and more. I know in 2023, you're probably expecting to see even more coming in. We're getting ready to have new people coming to our county, new housing, and all that brings different types of people and stuff, and not all of them is going to be the perfect person to come to Union. Right. And there's going to be opportunity there, and it's going to make both of y'all's jobs even harder, because you're talking about For instance, they say in 400 houses there, and you talk about a family of 5, that's a lot of people coming in. And you still have the same resources. And so it's going to have to be, the community is going to have to get involved. Well, we're going to take a little break here, and then we'll come back and wrap it up.
You've got mail. It's a lover's holiday. It's Valentine's next Tuesday.
Is that the flavor of the month?
Place your Valentine orders soon. Kirby's Bake Shop, 1222 South Duncan Bypass, Union, can create the sweets for your sweet one.
Lucy, what is this?
Kirby's Bake Shop, open Valentine's Day, 10:30 until 5:30. Kirby's Bake Shop, we highly recommend you place your order early. Kirby's Bake Shop, 427-5779.
Hello!
The number again, 427-5779. Order those chocolate-covered strawberries, cookies, cupcakes, cake squares. Don't forget Miss Ann's famous baked spaghetti, taco salads. From delicious cakes, pimento cheese, chicken salad, melt in your mouth, no baked cookies. Lunchtime never ever tasted so good. Try the chicken salad and pimento cheese. So good you'll want to get 2, but be careful. You may have to share with some of your co-workers. Like us on Facebook, Kirby's Cake Shop, 1222 South Duncan Bypass, Union, 427-5779. 427-5779.
All right, we're back, and we've only got a couple more minutes here, and we just want to thank Sheriff Bailey and Chief McGee for coming in and explaining a lot of these things that we've been exploring, to educating us on the drugs and stuff like that. Have y'all thought about doing any type of educational either video out there on and showing the people what these look like, or anything like that to educate the public to what they can really see from their county?
There has actually been one in the works with the high school, but it's just geared towards the high school. The hospital's doing it. I'm not sure where it's at.
I think you had something to do with
right.
Yeah, you did a video.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But outside of that, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's and it was a good impact. I've got a lot of good feedback from that, where the kids actually played the characters, and they did an excellent job. These kids did, but what I'm basically was kind of showing is like, okay, this is what this looks like. If you see this, because a lot of people don't, they just don't know, and if they see it, that this is not, they can pull it up on YouTube or pull up something like that, but when they see it from your perspective, and you're sitting here showing this is it,
right,
then they know that, well, this is in my county, and this is what it looks like. I've seen this before. And they could come to you and say, look, I've seen this laying over here, because we've been in people's houses and walked by and seen stuff, probably didn't even notice it.
Well, a lot of it now, we just had a case here recently where we had some edibles that we actually got, and then it was, like it comes in forms of Skittles, Fruit Loops. I mean, it looks just like candy or whatever, and that's dangerous, really, for small kids, and that's something they need to be aware of. Yeah,
I think it was the kid. I think was overdosed or something. Or
it happened in another county. It was a neighboring county, but it ended up in Union County.
Right, and see, and people don't realize that spills over to other counties like that. Well, we appreciate both of you for coming in and talking with us, and we'll continue to keep all the police officers in our prayers, and anything that we can do or anything to help make this community better.
Yep.
Just let us know, whether it be a news release or whatever like that, or something you want to get out. You got my number.
That's right.
Just give me a call, and I'm glad to do it.
I just appreciate your hard work and for the community, because you do a good job getting out there, and you're everywhere covering everything. So it's great. Yeah,
I try to be
for what you do.
Yeah, thank you. It means a lot. It really does.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I love doing it, and like I said, this is my community too, and I just love it. I've been here 20-some years. My wife's been here all her life. And I love it when you can go to Walmart and you see people talking, almost like a family reunion. Everybody knows everybody. So we can make it better.
We can.
We can, absolutely.
All right, we're going to
Thank y'all for tolerating my questions as well.
No, they were good
Jerry is
questions.
Good
amazing.
question.
Jerry is really awesome.
all right. Well, thank y'all for watching, and tune in every Monday at 7 o'clock. Next week, we're going to be having the South Carolina investigators and paranormal investigators, that is. So
Oh, booger hunting.
do you have ghosts? And these people are 501, I think is what they call it, as far as a tax thing. They don't charge anything when they come in and investigate these ghosts and things like that. So we're going to go to Scarlett's house and see what kind of
No,
things she
I'm
got in
not
her
one of
closet.
those you drop in on. You call before you show up. I won't open my door. I like my privacy. I don't have ghosts. Carl Jennings has ghosts in his house.
Who?
Carl Jennings.
In the house that he just bought.
Oh, really?
It was an old family house of ours, or my stepdad's, and I told him it was haunted, and he told me I don't need to keep telling him that. But
Tell them bye, Scarlett.
bye.